So I just got a bunch of bubble wrap, but more importantly, it's what's inside the bubble wrap. You can probably see already, but that is a Gardevoir EX League battle deck, as well as also some Dragon Shield sleeves. So let's go ahead and open this up and get them all sleeved, because literally tomorrow morning is a League challenge about like 20 minutes away from me, and I plan on using this exact deck as is at that League challenge.
So here is our League battle deck for Gardevoir, as well as our Dragon Shields, specifically Ivory, Matte of course. This, by the way, is also going to function as our deck box. It's an all-in-one thing, I guess. Like I said, we're literally going to sleeve all of these up so I can take these to a local tomorrow. So let's go ahead and get this opened up. I feel there's something behind here, actually. Hang on. What is it? These are, of course, Poison and Burn Mark. Do people even... Okay, well, I know there's a Monkey Dory set that poisons, but do people even burn anymore? And I think this is the playmat? Oh no, this is the upgrade guide. How to upgrade your League battle deck. Of course, Buddy Poffin. I know you also want TM evolution, so that if you go turn 2, you can Buddy Poffin 2 Roltzers and then immediately evolve them into Curliers. What else do they have? Tulip. What is this? What? Because our main attacker Drifloon is a low HP Pokemon that will usually get knocked out after making a big attack, we want to make sure we can get them back into play. Why not just have Super Rod? And then of course, A-Spec Prime Catcher. Here is the Mew EX, Lumineon, and a Radiant Greninja, as well as 3 Gardevoirs. First things first, here is the code in case you want to use this deck online. Next up in here are I assume the dice. And yes, a very nice dice, I must say. You have 6 solid dice for damage numbers and a very sparkly looking randomizer, I guess. 1 through 6, heads, tails. These are our 3 Gardevoirs. And of course the helpful draw engine. So Mew, of course, lets you draw an extra cards up to 3 if you don't have that many in your hand. Free retreat as well, very nice. And also genome hacking, so if for whatever reason they have a really strong attacker that you can just use, like for example a Charizard, and you're down to 1 price, or they're down to 1 price less, you can just switch Mew in, use their own attack, get off a big chunk of damage. Lumineon, play it from your hand, and then you get a free supporter essentially anywhere from your deck. Special note, you have to play it from your hand. You cannot nest ball this. You have to Ultra Ball into your hand and then play it. And then last but not least, Radiant Greninja. Mainly here for concealed cards. Discard a energy, and then draw 2. Effectively a Curlier, but you can just grab it with a nest ball. And then we have the deck itself. Drifloon, one of our main attackers in the deck. I do need to try and find Screamtails as an alternative bench sniper. We have Iono for hand disruption. Shuffle your deck to the bottom, or shuffle your hand to the bottom of the deck and then draw as many cards as you have prize cards. Professor's Research, discard your hand, draw 7. Arven, huge, only 1 copy of Arven. Okay, we need to find more Arvens so we can get Buddy Poffins as well as the TM evolutions so that you can pull off that play. Add 2 to your bench and immediately evolve them, or just to grab Bravery Charms as well. 2 Boss's Orders, a Jacques. This is, I guess, the equivalent of TM evolution and Buddy Poffin. This is what we're going to take out immediately first. Artisan, bit of a double-edged sword. You can add a Pokemon that does not have a rule box onto your bench, as long as it's a basic. But obviously our opponent can use that as well. Nest Ball could be nice to fetch, like the Drifloons and stuff like that. Radiant Greninja as well can be fetched with that. Ultra Balls, this is a great way to get these cards into our hand, like a Gardevoir or that Lumineon, so we can get a supporter. Rare Candies. So Rare Candies, obviously it's to go directly from Ralts into Gardevoir. Ideally, I don't need to use this. Ideally, I get them all into Curliers because I don't really want to skip the Curlier evolution. I want to have as many of those out as possible. But if I'm in a pinch and like I need to get energy out onto the field like now, I can use a Rare Candy. Up next is Super Rod. It's out of order. Up next is Super Rod. This is why I said that one supporter was a bit weird, because Super Rod lets you put 3 of any combination of Pokemon and energy into the deck. So you could put your Drifloon back in the deck with this. I guess it's only into the deck and not your hand, but you have ways to get the Drifloon back out with Artisan, Nest Ball. You can just draw into it as well with Curliers. And then these, of course, 3 Bravery Charms. So plus 50 HP to a basic Pokemon. This can help our Drifloon hit a little bit harder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 basic energies of the psychic variety. And then at the back here, oh, I think I know why these are at the back. So I think these are at the back because these are rotating, right? These are the regulation F cards. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 Curlias. These all have refinement and are regulation F. So discard a card, draw 2 cards, very useful. Ralts, the 60 HP Ralts version. I know some people say you want the 70 HP version so that you can be a little bit tankier. You don't immediately die to, like, say, a Dragapult sniping you at the bench. And then 1 Cresselia. This is, effectively speaking, this deck's current bench sniper. You can move 2 damage from each of your Pokemon, or any of your Pokemon, onto 1 Pokemon. Also, Regulation F will get rotated out. This can probably easily be replaced by, aside from the Screamtail, but also other things like the Flutter Mane to lock out your opponent's effects and stuff like that. Otherwise, that is going to be the Gardevoir EX deck. As you can see, yeah, the hollows, I think this is what they mean when they say the hollows are prone to bending quite a bit, as you can see there. So let's go ahead and get these sleeved up so we can go and play tomorrow. Hey there, it's me from the future. I have just come back now from the League Challenge. I did not really record anything while I was there. I didn't really feel comfortable doing it. You know, it was my first time there. So I'd rather first get to know the people before saying, hey, can I record your shop and can I record you guys and stuff like that. So maybe in the future I'll start doing stuff like that. But for now, I'll just give like an audio transcript of what happened. What you're seeing right now is just me sleeping through the cards. So just so that there is some sort of video stuff going on. But yeah, let's go over the analysis of my very first League Challenge. Right, games are done. I'm surprised, honestly, that this little Gardevoir EX deck, the raw Gardevoir EX, literally straight out of the box, did pretty well. I went 2, 1, and 0, but I guess there's some asterisks. So, well, there was a bye because there were 5 of us only. I essentially went 1 and 1, but the one that I did lose was very close. I lost the first game. The second game was a tie, but oh, I'll get into that in just a second. So, first things first, the judges were really helpful. I told them it was my first time. They're like, no worries, I got you. Here's a full-out deck list. I'll print it out for you. Super helpful. Match 1, I was up against a Dragapult deck, and I was like, oh no. Since this is a raw deck, this doesn't have anything like the Monkey Dory and stuff like that. Game 1, yeah, I got outpaced, you know. The Dragapults were shooting me dead with Phantom Dives and stuff like that, and I couldn't get counter KOs fast enough because, you know, I would have to take 2 hits with Drifloons. I could not do 320 in 1 hit. I probably should have scooped earlier. If I did, I probably could have maybe gone for a tie. The issue was, this was my very first match. I told the guy, I'm like, by the way, this is my very first time playing like IRL, and he's like, no worries. Let me know if I'm going too fast, by the way. I'm like, dude, thank you. I feel like I played pretty well as well, like in terms of speed. Like I didn't waste too much time, stuff like that. I sort of played it out because I'm like, let me at least find out more about how his deck works and how I can plan for the next match. Because something I noticed is that his deck was very energy tight. At one point, I did try and boss's order out one of his bench Pokemon in. That was like my saving grace because then he couldn't really attack and he didn't really have ways to switch out. Because he also afterwards he mentioned, oh, he prized his emergency board to reduce the cost by 1. I'm like, ooh, interesting. Match 2 starts. I get a Cresselia in hand, so Cresselia is my active Pokemon. He reveals Radiant Alakazam, and I'm like, ooh, that's a 2-cost retreat. Also, that's not like a Dreepy or anything, so it's very interesting. So I do my classic Gardevoir shenanigans, you know, set up my Curlier, set up my Radiant Greninjas, and I'm noticing he is doing not a lot of stuff. Like, he gets his Rotom down, and he is using the ability to draw 3 a lot. And he's not really getting his Dreepies set up. Like, he wasn't getting any rare candies. I'm like, interesting. What I start doing is I start using my Cresselia to start going for KOs on the backline. Dreepies, Dracloaks as well, because they only have max 90 HP. The issue with this is why now I understand why Screamtail is a necessity for this deck, because Cresselia was getting KOs, but I could only do it as so long as I had damage counters on my own Pokemon, and I could not do that because we were kind of both bricking. He was bricking in the form of he couldn't get out many of his Dracloaks and his Dragapults. I was bricking in that I couldn't get any energy into the discard pile to use Psychic Embrace to put damage counters on to use Cresselia as an attacker. But eventually I start getting KOs. He at some point does get a switch out. Something I noticed is that he played the escape board on his Alakazam, reducing the cost by 1, but he still wasn't able to retreat. He wasn't able to get another 1 single energy card. I'm like, dude, this is great. This is perfect. And he had so many draw cards on the field. He had Vezendipity, he had Rotom. It was just those 2, yeah. And he also had Mew as well to restart as well. There was a point where he had 3 prizes, I had like 4, I think, if I remember correctly. And there was a play where I had to make a decision. I thought, okay, I have a Mew on my bench. His Alakazam is still in the active spot. He has a Fezandipiti benched. He also has a Mew as well as like a Luminion and a Rotom, I think, as well. And I thought to myself, I can bosses up the Fezandipiti, switch into Mew, and use Mew's genome hacking to start putting 100 damage onto the bench. And then in 2 turns, I would get a KO. Also, he had like 15 cards in his hand because he kept on drawing and doing nothing. So my options were either boss Fezandipiti up and then start using that attack with Mew, but then risk him getting a godlike draw with what he has in hand, and then, you know, sniping the Mew, and then also the something in the back line. Oh, actually, yeah, here's why. So I didn't do that. Instead, I Iono'd him to disrupt his hand. I'm like, play it slow and steady. I think I got this. So about that Mew, I have a Bravery Charm on it. So I'm like, okay, it's got 230 HP. It can survive if it does have to go up against the Dracloak or the Dragapult even, because he did have a Dragapult on bench the entire time. It was just a matter of getting it out. And then at one point he goes, okay, no, he has a switch card. I'm like, oh, okay. Switches in his Dragapult, uses Counter Catcher to get my Mew in. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. I'm fine with this. And then he plays Jamming Tower. Who plays Jamming Tower in a Dragapult deck? So I'm like, oh, there goes my Bravery Charm. Then he snipes away my Mew, and he splits some damage elsewhere onto my board. So he's down to 1 prize left, and I'm like, oh no. I had to KO that Dragapult because I think it had damage on it because I put damage on it with Cresselia earlier. So I put my Gardevoir in, and I just Miracle Force his Dragapult to get the return KO. So now it's, I have 2 prizes left. He has like 1 left, I think. I think it was at around about this point where it was actually also turn 0. So turn 0, he gets that switch in to his Dragapult, and he puts my Mew in with the Counter Catcher, and he gets the KO. He's down to like 1 prize card left. I then go, all right, that's fine. My turn 1 starts. That is when I put my Gardevoir in. I get the return KO on his Dragapult. I'm down to 2 prizes left. He has 1 prize left. His turn 2 starts. He puts his next Dragapult back in, but he doesn't have energy for it, so it can't attack. And also, even if he did, he wouldn't get a KO because my Gardevoir has like full HP and stuff like that. Then he plays Iono, and this is when I and the judge who was like watching over both go, oh, and I show the judge my hand, and I'm like, I have a boss's order. I was waiting for like literally next turn 3, I would have gotten a boss's order, boss up his Mew, attack with Gardevoir. And we're just like, ooh. And then, yeah, so he just Ionos and passes. He couldn't get the KO on me, even though we had 1 prize left. So I draw, and I'm like, okay, I have 3 cards in hand. I drew an energy card as my 3rd card. I go, all right, concealing cards, Greninja, draw 2. I didn't get boss's orders, and I'm like, all right, GG. It would have been so close. I'm so glad that, you know, obviously I lost that first round, but that second match that like went down to the wire, that is the most fun I've had. So, I mean, it was only the second match I had, but it was the most fun I had ever. Round 2 was very interesting. I played against a guy I met last week at a different shop because we both went to this different shop asking about like tips and asking where leagues are. That's how we found out about this event. And so we were both running like what is essentially like battle decks. Like I was using Gardevoir League battle deck. He was using Miraidon League battle deck. I will say, I'm pretty sure Gardevoir wins that matchup. Single target prize takers against big basic EX 2 prizes that don't have a lot of HP that Drift Balloon can very handily kill. With Bravery Charms, it was a nice quick 2-0. But it was still a great guy, it was very friendly. All in all, I'm pretty proud of how I did with this standard Gardevoir deck, just the basic league deck. But at the end of it all, all 5 of us, we all came away with a promo card, as well as a Stellar Crown Pack and a Prize Pack Series 5. And of course, some glorious championship points. But yeah, otherwise, in the end, I did go for the TM Evolution promo card, which I will definitely be slotting into my deck. While I was there as well, I was like, you know what? In order to have somewhere to hold all these cards that I must get, I also bought a little binder. So, you know, give the store some business as well. So let us first do Prize Pack Series 5. If I'm not mistaken, I think there is an energy in here, right? So I think it's 1 to the back. Also, here is a lovely little code for you. Otherwise, let's have a look and see. 1 to the front. And yes, it is a simple basic water energy. Water energy, let's see. A Super Rod. A Counter Catcher. That is actually huge. I should probably add this to the deck. Oh, there we go. We can focus in. I should absolutely be adding this to the deck. If you have less prize cards than your opponent or more prize cards than your opponent, you can then just boss something up. And Gardevoir, of course, does go very slowly, so it is often playing from behind. Let's see. A Baxcalibur. Oh, hello. I should have given this to the Qian Power player. And last but not least, we have a Techno Radar. Hello. Oh wait, there's still another card in the back. Whoopsie, 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 whoopsie. And I saw it. It was an EX Pokemon, and it is a Fortress EX. I don't know if I'm gonna use this. Explode, giving your opponent 2 prize cards, and for what? Like, I mean, I guess 5 basic energy, but Alright, that was the Prize Pack Series 5. Now, let's have a look at the Stellar Crown Pack. I'm going to assume this is also one to the front, similar to the Prize Pack. So, let's show off this card here. Good card. One to the front. So if we're right or wrong, right? Now, okay. A steel, oh, not steel. I keep thinking video game. A Metal Energy. A Turtonator. An Impidimp. Not the dog Pokemon I want. I would have wanted a Monkey Dory. A Drifloon. Not the Drifloon I want. I have a better Drifloon in my deck. A Ponyta. A Frogadier. Oh, Pangoro. Every time I see a dog, I'm like, ooh, is this Monkey Dory? Is this maybe Fizzdipity? Wait, no, I don't think Fizzdipity in the set. I should probably actually look what is in Stellar Crown. Alright. All I know is that Joltik, Galvantula, and this Terapagos line are in here. Next up, a Celebi. We have a Ladybird. And last but not least, we have our Chaladon. Oh, actually, not second last but not least. Our Chaladon. I was getting this a lot in the Pokemon TCG Live online. And last but not least, for realsies, we have... Oh, actually, that's kind of huge. Noctowl. That's what you want for the Terapagos deck. You essentially, if you have a Terra Pokemon in play, you just get to grab 2 trainer cards. That's actually very huge. So maybe this can go towards a Terapagos deck in the future. There is also actually a League Cup next week as well, which I'll probably be attending. I'm assuming there will be a bigger turnout there, so that'll be very exciting. I'll definitely make another video talking about the experience. I don't know if I'll get any footage of the actual place itself, because I feel a bit weird being, you know, my first time there. I don't feel like it'd be right for me to just walk around vlogging and stuff like that. I'd rather just take that first experience there to get to know the people themselves and immerse myself amongst the others, because they're all great people. And I'll worry about, you know, getting content later on. But I will probably make a video at least talking about the experience there. So you can subscribe and you'll be notified whenever that does go up, sometime next week probably. Otherwise though, thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one.